Alright, let's finally get started with this VOD review. Alright, who are we going to do first? Let me write down who played what. I think everyone played except Rain. So we got Li Zhang. We got Care. Smee. Astro Muff. I'm like, it's like, why is it not leaving? Press the wrong button, that's why.
Ready for battle.
Rialto. I think Care played in all 3 games.
Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
Okay. Race. Alright, let's tackle Care first.
Ready for battle.
Oops. I meant to do Li Zhang Tower first.
Ready for battle. 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
All right, team. We're gonna get started on the VOD reviews. I know these are late. I'm sorry, but they take a lot of time, and I have to edit this to make it look better. You don't have to sit through a many-hour VOD review. It's a lot better for you guys. Anyways, I'm gonna be starting off watching Kare's point of view. We'll be going. You played on all 3 maps. If I feel like you're just kind of making the same mistakes over and over again, I don't know if I'll end up watching all 3 maps. We'll see. But anyways, yeah, this is Lijiang Tower. They're on the map.
I have opened the mountain. You are completely healed. Immortality field deployed.
Okay, so my biggest thing with you right now, and I think I've seen, because I remember watching snippets of these bash matches replays before, there's like the other day. One of the biggest things I noticed that you show, and this applies to your Kiriko too, from what I remember. It's not just Baptiste. You do this on both, and it's something you need to get used to. Is that your APM, your actions per minute, is not high enough. Okay, in case you're not aware, both Baptiste and Kiriko have this thing where there's enough of a delay between their healing that you can actually weave in damage shots in between them. So let me show you. Go to a custom gamer. Actually, I just need to go to training range training. Chances are you might know what I'm talking about. But basically, okay, if you watch what you were just doing, you were basically going, okay, healing up your teammates. And then whenever you would need to damage, you go. Okay. It can be more. Okay, essentially you could be going like this. The idea is that you can basically get like 2 damage shots in between every heal. Okay, so it could be like,
Pain means you're alive until it doesn't.
you see what I mean? Like that way you're weaving both damage and healing off at the same time. It takes practice. I'm not gonna lie, I literally just hopped on for the first time today while recording this, so my aim's kind of shit. But that's the idea, is that if you practice it properly, you can get both in. It's also easier if they're just more lined up together. Like normally you'll be behind your team, so it'd be like, it's a little bit easier to aim.
Got the victory fever. You are completely healed.
See what I mean? Like you're able to weave both in at the same time. You get way more value doing that, and you don't do that when at all. Even with Kiriko, you can do it as well. So it's not just a Baptiste
I'll
thing.
find my own path.
I always found it odd that you would tell me that like you just don't vibe with Baptiste, which is weird to me because like the playstyle of Baptiste is actually not too different from Kiriko, at least in terms of like his weapon, because it's like it's the same exact thing. You go like, meh, get 2 headshots in, because you know how you have to wait for it to like to regenerate first. It's the same exact concept. Regenerate, get some shots in.
Like a gentle rain.
Triple kill.
Now I'm having fun.
Quadruple
It's the same exact thing. It's just a different weapon. So I don't know. I always found that odd that you would say that when like it's actually not too different. Like, if anything, Kiriko is probably more deadly than Baptiste in a lot of ways because she can get those headshot potentials. Like, if any, like, you should be DPSing way more on both of these characters. There's a reason why these characters get played a lot. It's because they deal a lot of damage, and they also have good healing. Their utility is different, sure, but they're actually, even their utility is fairly similar. It's just one's more static than the other. That's really it. So like realistically, you should. Their playstyles are pretty similar. So definitely you want to be weaving those in a lot more. Try and increase your APM as much as possible when you're playing these two heroes. That's like the easiest thing you could do to get more value on those two. Let's go back.
Ready for battle.
Do you see what I mean though? Like just watch your gameplay here for a second. You'll see what I mean. Like after just showing you, you might notice like, oh, I probably could have gotten a shot or two in on this enemy while healing right here. So like, and I'll try and maybe point it out with my mouse too while doing it. Okay. Okay. Healing, shoot the loose healing, shoot Orisa, healing, shoot Orisa, healing, shoot Orisa, healing, shoot Orisa. Like you see what I mean? Like you could have been weaving in more damage while doing your job as a healer. It's pretty effective. And Kiriko can do it too. It's not just a Baptiste thing. Like I will say I do feel like you're one of the type of people you're not bloodthirsty enough on the team, which is probably why you keep telling me that like you don't really vibe with Baptiste, because Baptiste is basically a DPS with healing abilities, to be honest. But the thing is, Kiriko is too. It's just Kiriko's a lot harder to land the shots compared to Baptiste is all. But she does more damage once you get better at her. She does more damage than Baptiste because of her headshot criticals. But they're both, like, long story short, all supports are supposed to be bloodthirsty. Pretty much all roles are DPS, just with different health and abilities, realistically. Supports are no different. That's why there's that long, like, held argument that like there's a reason why they're called supports and not healers, is because well, they're supposed to be doing other stuff besides healing, and a large part of that is applying damage to the rest of the team too. So don't be afraid to just shoot the enemy. There's a lot of situations where shooting the enemy is better than healing your team, because like if the enemy is dead, you don't need to heal your team as much. That's why, like, if anything, like one of the biggest problems for supports at like higher ranks, for example, compared to metal ranks supports will typically just heal their team out the wazoo, but they'll never damage the enemy. But at higher ranks, it's like the opposite. Like they'll damage the enemy out the wazoo, but they'll barely heal their team because they're so focused on damage. And a great healer knows when they can manage both.
Hello.
Maga's here.
Oh yeah, this is when I went to Maga.
Let's show him what we got.
So luckily they don't have an Ana. So this is a little tip for the future. In the event that they did have an Ana and we were playing like a, I don't know, Junker Queen, Maga, like any of those tanks that are like super susceptible to an anti-nade, you would want to try and save your lamp for when the anti happens, just because that's when they're at their weakest point for your tank. What's Maga doing?
Constructing my teleporter.
Let's get you all.
So another thing I would also add, aside from the fact you just need to be doing more damage. Like just do more damage. Period. Just like you're heal botting too much. Rewind it a little bit.
Constructing my teleporter.
Let's get you all together.
Okay. You want to try and focus on who your team are. When you do end up doing damage, you want to focus on who your team is currently shooting at. So like at the moment, for example, Race and I, we're focused on this Orisa. If you were doing damage, you could also be shooting this Orisa. Even with Fortify, having 3 people shooting at the Orisa, this Orisa could potentially end up dying, or at least get low. To scare her off, tell her to fuck off, and like go behind cover and give us the space essentially. Like you see how low she is, and that's just between the 2 of us. If you had added that extra DPS, she could potentially die here. Okay, so she ended up dying without the need, but like it could have happened faster.
Peak performance.
Everybody riot! Who wants to fight me on the point?
Good to see you. Party time,
All right. So you want to be positioning where you think the next engage might happen. You want to be in position for the next engage. Okay. So now we're rotating. We know they're coming this alleyway. You want to get in the best position you can to where you can try and damage the enemy and heal your team at the same time, while still being fairly safe. So like in this situation, if I were playing Baptiste, I would be shooting their enemy while also keeping a peripheral, like a visual peripheral on the rest of my team, just to make sure they're not getting too low. But I'm primarily applying damage to the enemy. I want them to be scared from approaching as long as possible, so that way we get as much tick time.
Reality bends to my
Like you see how like you could be shooting this Orisa. Like this Orisa could literally be dead already if you were shooting her while healing. Hell, because most of the team is like not even that low, you don't even need to heal right now at all. You could literally just be shooting the Orisa, just straight up. And like you could have gotten the kill credit for that potentially.
I'm the cream of the crop.
Also, if you ever like see me in a tight corner like this and I'm clearly low, don't be afraid to use lamp. I don't remember who I said it to before. I think it was one of the tryouts who ended up leaving. I think it was Lo-Fi. But when it comes to Baptiste, don't be afraid to use your lamp. Okay. Yes, lamp can be used to save your teammates from ultimates and stuff like that, but like lamp has like a 20 something cooldown. I think it's like, I don't know, 24 25 or something like that, and that's usually how long a fight lasts. So realistically, you can be using your lamp at least every team fight. Okay, if you're not using it at least once every team fight, you're not using it enough. Okay, that's a good like measuring stick on effectively using your cooldowns, because you want to use your cooldowns to get the most value from them as much as possible, right? And so that's just one of them. But yeah, don't be afraid to use your lamp. Like it's one lamp is one of those things to like if you need to, and like your tamp just never needs the lamp, use it on yourself. Okay, use your lamp as a tool to get more offensive damage angles. Like throw it behind a corner, peek out from the corner, and just shoot the enemy. Like if that's what you need to do because you never need to use it on your team, then do it. Like lamp is a fantastic tool. Definitely use it more often. I would much rather you use it like as part of your learning process, Care. I would much rather you use your lamp more often and fuck it up than not use it at all. Okay, because then at the very least we can indicate better timing for when to use lamp and whatnot. Like it's, you know what I mean? At least you're getting some use out of the the failed lamp instead of no use at all from just not using the lamp. So definitely just start using it more often, and then we can go from there to indicate like how effective was your lamp usage.
Topping you up.
I find it crazy to me that like you put lamp down, but then you walk out of your lamp range. Like I saw that you use lamp instinctively, but you want to try and be more mindful about where you're placing lamp. Like if you know your teammates are going to try and walk out of their Orisa ult radius, try to place lamp a little further back to where you know your teammates most likely gonna be ending up while still being within it. So like for example. Okay, so here's the radius, right? We're all sucked into the middle. If we know that we're all going to be heading this way, instead of placing it straight at your feet, place it more towards like maybe the edge of the radius. So that way we're all still affected by the lamp. But that way, in the event that we, actually, regardless of whether or not we leave the lamp or not, because this is an open space, we still get protected by the lamp enough for us to kind of stabilize essentially. But like look how you end up placing it and how like it just entered the lamp. So like, oh, she just started like immediately. I might need to slow down. Okay, so here's the lamp, okay? You see how you place it like right on top of the Orisa? But like the team is trying to get away from the Orisa, so like it kind of ends up being pointless. Like you got saved because you were still in it, but honestly it could have been a little bit further out where it still affects your team because that's where your team is going. And not right on top of the Orisa, because now it's just assuming it didn't get broken, like now the lamp would just be useless because now you guys are outside the radius.
Dodge this.
Like quite honestly, if Muff didn't beat right here, the two of you could have died just because you guys are low and you didn't have you weren't near the lamp radius, assuming it had lived. Let's go back to your point of view.
Dipped up shit. Light them up.
Not the best use of the ult. There's a class. I'm still waiting for us to have a scheduled theory session. We haven't had a theory class in a while. I don't know what the next one is, but I'm really hoping I might just end up making our next practice session part theory, just because like there's an important topic called pressure that I need to talk about, because I don't think the team completely understands like what is pressure and how you apply pressure. But long story short, when it comes to using your offensive abilities, okay, like your window, okay, on Baptiste, or like using Kiriko's whatever the fox ultimate's called, I forgot what it's called, Kitsune Rush. The main idea is you want to be using them when the enemy team is at their weakest moment, that they're most susceptible to being hit by the ultimate. Okay, so in other words, okay, pressure. What is pressure? Pressure is essentially how afraid is the enemy of being killed. Okay, the more likely that they think that they're going to die, the more pressure that they feel. So, like, for example, all right, being out in the open with a Widowmaker looking straight at you, that gives you pressure, right? Because you know the Widowmaker can potentially just one-shot you. It scares the living shit out of you. That is a form of pressure, okay? Having Orisa spinny spear you into a wall and then javelin you for extra CC while headshotting you to potentially kill you or almost kill you, that is pressure because you're getting low and you're dying. You're scared shitless, okay? Having a Baptiste ultimate right in front of your face with nowhere to run, that's going to scare you because you're about to take a lot of damage. Anytime that the enemy feels like they are possibly going to die, that is pressure, okay? So you want to apply that mindset. So whenever you hear your team say stuff like, oh, we need to apply more pressure, what it really means is we need to scare the shit out of them somehow, okay? Damage is the most direct way of doing it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be damage, okay? It could just be something simple as displacing them, maybe with like a wrecking ball boop, or trapping them inside a enclosed building with a Life Weaver ultimate, having the tree block a doorway so they can't get in or out of the room. Like, it could be an anti-nade where now they can't get healed. Like, not being healed is scary because that means they could potentially die in those few seconds if they fuck it up. Their positioning. There are other ways of applying pressure. Anything that can potentially lead to a death is applying pressure. So, with that in mind, do you think this window ultimate is good enough, this positioning for the ultimate is good enough to apply pressure? Okay, the answer is eh. It kind of is, but also kind of isn't. Mostly a no. Just because of the fact that where you used it right here, the enemy is already pretty much next to cover. So as soon as you pop the ultimate, it's they just go hide behind cover to avoid your ultimate, okay? So that's the thing. The only saving grace is that they are in some awkward positionings where if they hide, they don't really have much room to hide, so we could easily rush them down. That's the only saving grace behind that. So if anything, your ultimate ended up being more of a zoning ultimate to kind of scare them off rather than like actually being used to like kill people in this situation. So, which is not necessarily a terrible thing right now because we got some value from it, but it could have been a bit better for sure. We'll go ahead and continue.
Let's get loud. Gotta go. You're completely healed.
All right, not too bad. So far, the biggest things that we need to work on are simply doing more damage. Just literally just shoot more often. Okay, if you need to practice just shooting more often, pair up with like hell if you want to. Just do some quick play duo queue with me and just DPS the whole round, and I can focus on healing the whole round. Just get in the habit of just shooting more often. Do it with Kiriko too. It doesn't have to be just Baptiste, but do it with Kiriko too. Just DPS the whole round. See what you can get away with. And you'll start to notify like, oh hey, like I actually didn't really need to heal my team right here. Probably I could have just DPS the whole round. And then you'll also notice the opposite, where like, you know, in a normal situation, I probably didn't need a DPS right here. I should have been healing my teammates. That's going to be your homework for you to do for you to practice, is just spend a a gaming session where you only DPS. And that's it. So that way you can kind of realize moments of when you should and shouldn't heal. I gave this same homework to Muff a while back, where I had him do different things with Lucio, like as no wall riding Lucio, no heal aura Lucio, on 2 separate occasions. And he learned a lot from it. He's gotten a lot better on his Lucio because of it. So that's your homework. Have a gaming session where you only DPS as Baptiste and you only DPS as Kiriko. I would probably spend 2 separate gaming sessions on each hero, so that way you get more benefit from it. You can focus more on each individual hero.
Great. We can be.
Okay, we're still in the map.
Behold my cool.
I don't remember. That's unfortunate. You were just simply too slow. That's it. You knew where it was coming, and you weren't quick enough.
Doctor's orders.
Let's get some healing beats going.
The objective is now
So
active.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not necessarily a bad play here to be holed up. Like I think I remember I was calling shots to like we just gotta play safe right now, which is not a bad call. However, what I will say is at Baptiste, Baptiste is one of like the few support heroes that can effectively help harass an enemy Pharah. So like at the very least, on my mind as a support player, I'm thinking, okay, they got a Pharah. At the very least, I should be keeping a mental note on where this Pharah is, because I'm one of the few heroes that can actually shoot her and potentially either A, tell her to fuck off so she stops harassing her team, or B, even just potentially kill her. And if they have a Mercy with her, which they do, they have a pharmacy, you could potentially going for the Mercy too, not just the Pharah.
In tip-top shape.
Okay, so they have a Mei. Okay, this is where we probably realized they had a Mei. So when they have an enemy team has a Mei and we're playing brawl heroes like Reinhardt, you know, brawl heroes that are subjectable to a Mei wall to isolate them, it is part of your responsibility as Baptiste to realize, okay, I need to keep in mind that my tank could be walled off at any time. I need to be playing closer to my tank so that way, if that happens, I can jump over the wall and throw a lamp down on my tank. That way, at least they live long enough for us to break the wall to let them get through, or long enough for the wall to go down on its own and my tank can survive. Or like, and even on top of that, you can even land on top of the wall to heal your Rhine in this case, while he's fending off against the wall, etc., etc. Okay, long story short, play closer to your Reinhardt so you can prepare for the wall coming, because you know the wall is going to come. You just don't know when.
Stay alive, boss. I thought you needed a head.
So like, there's the wall. Okay. So like you could have been shooting at the far a little bit. Okay, there we go. Very nice.
Let's keep short up there.
Aw. I feel like he gave up a little too soon, but it was acceptable. Like backing off was an acceptable decision. So like, I'm okay for that.
Yeah, I'll turn it up.
Like if we know that, like, first of all, you're like way too far away. you can skip a little bit. At least have me in your line of sight, so you can help me at a moment's notice. You shouldn't be. Okay, you know how there's like power positions on each map and whatnot. Okay. With like on control, one of the power position is just playing the point. Just because there are typical power positions on a map doesn't mean you should only stand on those spots. You're always, as a support, you're always supposed to be playing relative to where your team is standing. Okay, and at the very least, you should always be trying to keep your team in line of sight of your healing. So obviously, if I'm clearly out super far forward, keeping an eye on the front line, you should be changing your position relative to that to make sure that, like, hey, I can still maintain a safe, powerful position while keeping LOS of my teammates so I can heal them. So in this case, you could be playing a little bit more towards this corner over here, so that way you're still by cover, you're still on point if you really want to be on point, but you have more of a direct line of sight of me to help me out at a moment's notice. As well as too, like, because Pharah is the only one shooting at us, you could literally be shooting the Pharah while she's hovering above us right here. Like, if your aim is good enough, hell, maybe you could even get a pick on the Mercy or something. Instead of just letting me, as the Reinhardt, taking the brunt of all of the rockets. That was just simply you being late to throwing a lamp. Again, it's just back to that notion of just use lamp more often. Yep. Could have saved yourself too if you just threw lamp. It kind of looks like I don't remember if you played something different on Coliseum. We'll see. But if you end up playing just playing BAP again on Coliseum, I'll probably just won't even go over Coliseum. Okay, so you play BAP the rest of this game. So it looks like you're just making the same mistakes, basically. Let's go ahead and take a look at Rialto. What did you play on Rialto?
Ready for battle.
Yeah, BAP again?
What matters is that we fight to the very last.
Ready for battle.
Widen your stance. It might feel strange at first, but it keeps you balanced.
Oh, thank you, Sojin. I'll try that next time.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
You are completely healed. Loosen up. Get into the field.
That was scary. Hey, you lamp, nice. Very nice.
Coming up.
Oh wait, I just realized I'm watching the enemy team. I'm not watching you. Where are you? Oh, you're. There we go. I'm like, huh? I died. What?
Ready for battle. 4, 3, 2.
Okay, this is better. Okay, you're on Kiriko this time. Okay, it's almost the same exact thing. Kiriko's almost exactly the same as Baptiste. I promise you. Only difference being is that Kiriko's a little bit more mobile than Baptiste. That is it. Straight up, that is like it. Okay, her Suzu is almost used the exact same way as Lamp. Okay, it's just Suzu has a little bit more utility than Lamp, but it also lasts shorter than Lamp. So the timing will be a little different for Suzu compared to Lamp, but the practicality is fairly similar. Yeah. So with Kiriko, you should also be damaging and healing as much as possible, but in your case, just damage more often. Okay.
1. Attackers incoming. Escort.
Payload's heading out.
So like here, for example, let's just take this for example. Your team is pretty much in pretty good health. Like no one really needs healing right here. Okay. Yes, Dior is taking some like chip damage here and there, but he doesn't really need healing right now. He's still in a good spot. You could literally just be damaging, throwing kunais through this little like doorway choke the entire time, just chucking kunais, potentially get a pick in the process. Because right now you're not really doing anything. Like you see what I mean? Like you're throwing healing. I don't know the talismans. I don't know what these are called. You're throwing healing talismans, like for no reason. Like they don't need healing. You could chuck kunais instead right here. Like you see what I mean? Like you could literally just be chucking kunai. Like they're all clumped up, like right over this little pillar right here. You could literally just be chucking kunais over in that direction. And Kiriko is like Hanzo, where like her kunais don't leave a trail. So you can just get random ass picks sometimes just by chucking around a corner or into a choke. It's stupid. It's stupid. And like Kiriko has a really small head hitbox too. Like so, not only does she just get dumbass kills sometimes like Hanzo does, but she's also hard to hit. Like so, you definitely want to take advantage of that. So that's probably one of your weaknesses right now as a support player is that you just don't do enough. You just don't damage enough. You don't DPS enough, and that's across all your heroes. I don't know if that's because as a result of you being a Mercy player and you're just so used to beaming somebody on your team. But like just DPS more. That's it. Okay, like even on Mercy also, like good Mercies. I don't know how many Mercy streamers that you watch, like high level Mercy level. They whip out their Glock quite a bit too. If they see someone low, they'll whip out their Glock and they'll just finish off the enemy for them. Hell, they see themselves with their ultimate. I forget what the ultimate's called. Valkyrie. Fuck, there's a lot of Mercy players that'll use Valkyrie just as an excuse to whip out the Glock and go assassinate some squishes on enemy team. They won't even beam their teammates at all. They'll just go and assassinate squishes. Hell, I'll do that sometimes. Just DPS more. That's probably your biggest weakness right now.
Be purified. You take a lot of damage, huh?
You're like playing too far back here. Like, remember what I said earlier that like ideally the ideal position for you as a support is playing in a safe enough position where you can heal, you can help your teammates in terms of healing or utility or whatever, while also damaging the enemy at the same time. So like in this case, you could probably be playing a little closer to your soldier. Maybe you could be on the high ground too. Either by your soldier or a little bit on the high ground because you do have that wall climbing ability. You can be, whenever your teammates don't directly need healing right away, you can just be chucking kunais into the enemy team.
Catch you later.
Restoring balance.
You cannot escape me.
Carried on the wind.
Oh, we chucked one kunai.
Form up on the payload. Move it out.
Should also be getting high ground a little bit more. Just for that damage aspect. Like, you could be, like I said before, you could be chucking kunais this whole time while healing. Back to what I was saying about Baptiste, like, you'd be chucking kunais in between your healing for that extra DPS. Yeah. Oh, just us two.
How invigorating.
Like, what are you doing? Like, pop kick is fine. Just shoot the enemy. You're heal botting too much. Rip.
I offer something more.
Form up. That payload's not going to deliver itself. Move it.
Time to try again.
Moving the payload.
Kakaya?
Surrender on my will.
Jack Tyson.
Face my burning face.
The unexpected.
Soothing your wounds.
Heat check. Affirmative.
There we go. We finally kunai'd. Only when he was like already low and about to die.
I'm on fire.
My power emanates.
Under my protection.
冻住，不许走！
You're like standing. I don't. You keep standing so far back. You have no bloodlust. Ah, it's killing me. You're also not standing behind cover. Like, you should be standing by a corner or cover at all times. You shouldn't wait for somebody to shoot you before you go stand to cover. You should just be automatically sitting there just in case somebody starts shooting you. Alright, now we're finally shooting kunai, finally. Nice, can we get to pick? Nice.
Diabolical plans. Cancel.
Very nice.
Be healed.
The payload
What's up?
has reached the
Try some more.
Alright, we're payload princess, that's fine.
Coalescence is almost ready.
私が守る.
My ultimate is almost
Back in my day, we'd have this payload delivered already.
You cannot escape me.
Draw strength from nature.
Surrender to my will.
Let me balance you out.
Night as one.
Hey, check in.
もう大丈夫.
Push that payload.
Enemies here.
What's that?
Form up on the payload. Move it out.
I'm on fire.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch the rest of it because you're literally just making the same mistake. You're heal botting too much, like when you don't need to. Like, especially if you have Moira as your second support, for example, where Moira is gonna be doing the majority of your healing anyways. You should just be you just need to DPS more. Like, as a support player, you just don't DPS enough. And I'm assuming this is how it's going to be for across any support that you play. You probably just don't DPS enough. So I'm going to see here if you played anything else. Okay, so you're playing BAP. I've already seen your BAP. You play anything else? Oh, we got Mercy. Oh, shit. Okay.
ready.
Oh, this is... Okay, yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. I kind of threw on Ashe. I wasn't... I wouldn't say I necessarily threw, but I was definitely not getting any or getting enough value on Ashe.
Everything's online. Functionality looks good. One last diagnostics check couldn't hurt.
I probably should have ended up playing Soldier here instead, to be honest. Either Soldier or just stayed on the Mei.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Here it comes.
We just didn't know where they were. We were just confused, especially me. I'm like, where are they? I don't know why they decided to hold way back here. They just gave us this free card space for some reason. This is the most bizarre thing I've seen.
Boosting your damage.
I'll make it worth your while.
60 seconds remaining.
Helping you up.
Alright, first gameplay.
Heightening your capabilities. Here to help.
Bob is here. Looking
Enhancing
for
your strength.
We've wasted enough time. Move.
We need to get the
This will
payload.
just take a moment.
Pushing the payload.
10 seconds remaining.
Boosting your damage. Right fine.
Let's just stick with the payload.
Team kill.
Certainly not my last.
Okay, so overall so far, what I would probably say here is, I know the original plan, and this is not entirely your fault. I know the original plan was for you to like pocket me, and potentially Astra too, just given our DPS. But what I would say is like based on how that fight was going, I was obviously not getting. I was not getting enough value. That's just how it was. I'm not gonna lie too. On my part, being that this is literally my first like official scrim playing with you guys, especially as DPS, I was super nervous. I was hella nervous. I was forgetting to do basic stuff like play on high ground. I remember literally thinking to myself like I should be playing on high ground right now. I'm falling into the trap I'm telling you guys not to do, just because. I'm just not used to playing in the scrims. So I was trying to get over my nerves a little bit, which I was as the games went on. Yeah. But I was not getting enough value. And it's one of those things that, like, as Mercy, you kind of want to identify who's applying the most pressure on your team, and you can be damage boosting that person. So, like, in this case, because we have the Maga, the Maga is probably doing the most amount of pressure right now. Either Maga or Astro, because I'm not doing much on Ashe. Hell, even Kirby. If Kirby's like flanking quite a bit, even damage boosting Kirby on the Moira can be pretty damn effective. The easiest way, like one of the easiest ways you can tell as a Mercy player of just who's applying the most damage, aka who's most likely applying the most pressure right now. Just check the scoreboard. See who has the most damage on your team right now. If for that round, chances are if it's end up being Cupcake or Pupcake, damage boost him. Okay, Maga already does a lot of damage. Damage boost him. He's definitely gonna do a lot of damage now. And also, it also helps Maga's passive too. Like, yeah. So you don't have just keep in mind, like as a Mercy player, you don't have to specifically damage boost your DPS all the time. You can damage boost anybody on your team. As you just primarily want to be damage boosting whoever is applying the most pressure at the moment. At any given moment, and that can change from moment to moment. Sometimes it's your Ana. Sometimes it's your other support. Sometimes it's your tank. Majority of the time, hopefully, it's your DPS. But it doesn't necessarily have to be your DPS. So just keep that in mind. With that being said, too, I do want to introduce a concept to you. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but you try to use your damage boost also as a way to help your teammates to get their ultimates faster. So, like, let's say, for example, someone on your team is close to getting their ultimate or is just really far behind from getting their ultimate. Okay, so in this case, for example, we have Kirby, who's probably the furthest behind for getting the ultimate, and we have Astro and kind of me, who are closest to getting our ultimates. So right now what you could be doing is, in this team fight, upcoming team fight, if there's no one particular person that's applying like a whole lot of pressure, you could be damage boosting Astro to try and help him get his ultimate first. Okay, then once he has his ultimate, you could be like, all right, I'm gonna leave you alone for a while because you have your ultimate, you'll be fine. I'm gonna go damage boost the next person to help them get their ultimate. So in this case, maybe you might get me because I'm also pretty close to my ultimate too. Damage boost me for a little while until I get Bob. Then once I get Bob, you'll be like, all right, now Pupgate still has a little while to go, but he could probably get it on his own. I'm going to go damage boost Kirby because Kirby's the furthest behind. So I'm going to go damage boost Kirby for a little bit, assuming no one needs healing, of course. Try and get him up to speed with the rest of the team. So you can also just think of damage boost like that too, just as a tool to help your team get their ultimates faster. It's pretty effective for that.
Checking in. Damage
I'm not saying
intensified.
you need that right now. I'm just saying that across the board. I don't know if you're thinking about that. I think you're just mostly damage boosting the DPS just because that's what Mercy's known to do. I don't think you're thinking about, hey, I'm trying to get this person's ultimate faster. I would definitely recommend starting to do that because it definitely helps out a lot.
Not to worry. I'll patch you up.
I'm not gonna lie, I was just super scared of their Sojourn this whole game. This whole round as Ashe, because holy shit, their Ashe has nutty aim.
Heroes never die.
It's like here, like Maga's full HP, just damage boost him. There you go. Purple, if he's purple, you obviously can't heal him. Damage boost him. Hey, you know, I like this. I like you whipped out the Glock. You saw an isolated target. I need to see this more often across your support gameplay in general. Just more bloodthirstiness. I feel like you could. I feel like you could have actually gotten away with that kill, to be honest. All right, nice. Rip. Yeah, you heal bot too much. Like. Maga was purple, and you were trying to heal him.
It's go time.
Yeah, that's just your biggest weakness right now as a support player. You just heal bot too much. Do you play anything else?
Initiating. Ready for battle.
Everyone, stick together. We can do this.
Honestly, if you want to, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, the best character for you to learn if you just like the heal bot, just play Lifeweaver. Just play Lifeweaver. Hell, even Lifeweaver has to throw in damage too, but like you can get more away with it with just heal botting on Lifeweaver than you can on pretty much almost every other support. Hell, you could even play Brig. Because Brig like auto heals with her passive and stuff. I'm gonna watch this last bit just because I know this was they went for that TP strat in the alley.
Stop the payload.
I'm just so surprised they didn't immediately go after you. They like went straight into this room for some reason. They could have killed you potentially.
Get into the field. I got you. The payload shouldn't be moving.
That was so
Right?
dangerous. Just jumping out in the middle of the open.
Everybody riot!
You see what I mean? Like the jumps. I know what you're trying to do, but like you're basically just putting yourself out in the open by doing these high jumps. You could literally just walk up to your teammate here instead of trying to jump to get a better angle. I'm glad you're DPSing, but honestly, the only reason you're DPSing is because you can't heal your any teammates right now. None of your teammates are in LOS. So it looked like you were just kind of late to the party in terms of like how we were approaching things. You play so far in the back that when your team decides to make a quick rotation, you lag behind every time. That you're not able to react accordingly. That's kind of what ended up leaving you caught out back there. And they were able to like isolate you as a result. Honestly though, I feel like once we can get that bloodlust going for you, you'll start naturally playing a little bit closer. Because Baptiste doesn't position exactly like an Ana would, where Ana wants to be further back because she's a sniper. Okay, she's a support, yeah, but she's still a sniper character. Baptiste positions similar to Ana, but has to play a little bit closer, just because of how far his bullets go. But yeah, once you start working on that DPS aspect I told you for your homework, just DPS, purely DPS the whole round, in like quick play games or something, your positioning will start to adjust itself accordingly.
Sixty seconds remaining.
Like new again.
30 seconds remaining.
My ultimate is ready. Join me.
Stay near the immortality field. You're going to be fine.
10 seconds.
There we go. There we go.
To my will.
Another go, maybe.
Just Dior toughing it out.
I thought you needed a hand.
Bro, what? It's good in it. I will say this is not a bad window. Could have been a little bit better. I feel like maybe a little further up would have been helped because they're all like way over there. But
You're
it's not
completely
bad.
healed.
Payload is approaching its destination.
I feel like I just wish the rest of the team, like Pupcake, would have pushed up a little bit more after using the window. That's the only thing. It had Pupcake pushed up a little more to like harass the team. It would have opened up opportunities for them to actually get in line of sight of the window. So.
When
Immortality field deployed.
And I see 9. All right, that's pretty much it. So long story short, what do we learn? Pretty much 2 things. A, you need to DPS like way more, like significantly more. Like you just straight up either just don't do it most of the time, or you just need to do it more often. Like you pretty much heal bot the entire time. I forgot what the second thing was. Oh, use your lamp. Heck, I would almost say use Suzu more often too. I don't think I really saw you using Suzu. Use your other abilities. Use lamp and Suzu more often. Suzu especially, because Suzu's only like on a 12 or 15 second cooldown, so you can use it way more than lamp. Whereas lamp is like on a 25 second cooldown or something like that. So long story short, if you're not using if you're not using those abilities at least once every team fight, you're just not using them enough. You're not getting, and they're free value effectively. So DPS more often across the board for all supports, and use your lamp and Suzy more often. I would say those are your 2 biggest things to work on right now. In terms of homework, what I would say is, like I mentioned before, on both Baptiste and Kiriko, on 2 separate gaming sessions focused on 1 hero each, just DPS, literally just DPS the entire gaming session on that hero. I would recommend not being in team chat and hiding your text chat when you do that, so that way you don't get harassed for it. It doesn't mess up your mental state. That way you can just purely focus on practicing it. So that'll be my homework. Yeah, so hope to learn some stuff from that.